Hey, how's it going, guys? Captain Kuba here, and welcome to another God of War video. This time, I bring you a very exciting reaction video. Yeah, so God of War Ragnarok came out, and I'm out of content. Or at least that's what people think. I have a ton of videos that I want to make. Even though I'm not as interested in doing theories anymore, I do have a lot of I almost said theories. I do have a lot of God of War videos that I want to share with you guys. But as I was ready to write today's video, I was going on YouTube to choose the song I want to listen to as I'm writing it, and I come across this video by Watch Mojo. I forgot what it was called now. What is it, like 10 predictions, 10 fan-made God of War theories? And I thought I would react to it because this is kind of what I do here on YouTube. Like, I do God of War fan theories, right? And I wanted to see what Watch Mojo thinks the best theories are. Of course, I'm not expecting me to be in there because my theories are more like specific about little things. Like the last one was about the primordial fire. No one really talks about that. But I want to see more like what the community is thinking. And I don't know. I just want to see it. So let's do it.
He left me no choice.
Because it was necessary, not because it was written.
Welcome to MojoPlays.
Hi, Mojo.
We're reading the runes and checking our prophecies as we unearth 10 God of War fan theories that might be true. For this list, we'll be looking at story elements that caused fans to read between the lines and come up with their own possible explanations for some of God of War's most important unspoken moments. Have any theories of your own about the events of the God of War franchise? Let us know what they are down in the comments. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Old Norse.
Leave
What?
my home.
No one could ever accuse Kratos of being the talkative type back during his days bringing down the gods of the Greek pantheon, but even by his own standards, Kratos is a far more careful and reserved speaker in the 2018 sequel. Many fans posit this is due to Kratos speaking Old Norse instead of his native Greek. This would account for the slow delivery of many of Kratos' iconic lines, as well as the more deliberate way in which he only speaks when necessary, instead relying on mostly grunts for communication. Atreus alludes to the fact that Kratos can already speak the Nordic language when he attempts to teach Kratos how to read the runes in Tyr's temple, and later in God of War Ragnarok, it's stated that Kratos has learned to read the runes, so therefore his language skills could have improved as well, especially considering he's much more talkative in the sequel.
So, what do you say?
Hold on. No.
No.
Okay, so what I want to talk about that is that it's not really a theory, because yeah, like he says in God of War Ragnarok, it's explained, not explained, it's confirmed that Kratos does speak the language as he's learned to read the runes and all that. But what I find really funny is that this is back in 2018, this wasn't as confirmed. It was kind of implied because he was talking to Baldur, right? But what's funny is that a while back, when God of War 2018 came out, I made compilation videos of fan theories that I had found in my comment sections, right? And Kanaruhi, my wife, made a very similar theory. Alright, so I actually went ahead and found the video. It's called God of War Top 5 Subscriber Theories, and I was correct. Back then, we weren't even together. We weren't even a couple, but Kanaruhi was just a fan of the channel, and she submitted this theory, which I thought was interesting. And it said, someone give this man a script. I guess she means me because I was rambling on. The video is kind of cringy, even though my style of script reading is not that well these days. It was a lot worse in the beginning, right? But she says, I also mentioned this before, but I just wanted to say it again. Theory. Kratos is speaking some Norse dialect in the new God of War game, which is why I feel like his sentence structure is different and less complex than it's been in previous games, because of course, he's going to be more fluent in his native tongue than in the Norse one. This is evident when Atreus tries to teach Kratos to read Nordic runes and says, you already speak it, learning to read won't be that hard. I know how to read, boy, just not this tongue. And Kratos can understand and communicate with Norse gods without having to have Atreus to translate for him. I don't know, it's just interesting that Watch Mojo is talking about a theory that my wife, who wasn't my wife back then, shared with me and I made a video about. I'm not saying that Watch Mojo took it from. I'm sure like this is not, she wasn't the only one to think about this theory, but I thought it was an interesting connection at least. Anyway, let's keep going with the video.
Ares' soul.
Every bit as weak as the day you
Mine?
begged me to save your life.
I made a video about this.
I am not the same man you found that day. The monster you've created has returned to kill you.
After all the absolute torment Kratos went through at the hands of Ares, it makes sense that Kratos felt a swift death was too good for the former god of war. After successfully having his revenge and assuming his new role as the god of war, Kratos is given access to Ares' former throne room. Those who beat the game on Give Me God of War mode, however, are given a phone number to call in which Kratos congratulates them for their skill and gives them an audible tour of his throne room, including an area he claims not even Zeus knows about. Upon opening the door, we hear the screams of Ares being tortured, and Kratos pondering why his soul still resides here. There are some who propose the return of Ares could call Kratos back to his former home in an upcoming sequel, or it could just be a forgotten Easter egg.
This is a really cool, and yeah, I did make a video about this a while back, but it's a really interesting story that David Jeffy told me when I interviewed him a while back. The story is that, yeah, it was just a little Easter egg to reward players for completing the game on the hardest difficulty. I don't remember exactly what you had to do to get this phone number, but yeah, like you would get a phone number, you would call, and then you would hear Ares being tortured in a chamber on Olympus, and then his soul was type of thing, right? And when I asked David Jaffe about that, he just said that, you know what, I'm just gonna let him say it himself.
I probably just like the fact that there would be this great trophy room in Olympus, God of War's trophy room, and you would be able, you know, if nothing else, if we were to build that in a future game, you could walk past all these relics that you would recognize from your adventures, and one of them would be the actual soul of Ares. And maybe even, you know, now that I'm just talking out loud and thinking about it, maybe there would have been like 20 of those. So it almost shows that eventually Kratos is going to be in one of those, because that's sort of what happens. It's almost like Doctor Who. There's always going to be someone else that rises up to kill the God of War and take over. And these souls kind of end up in these jars in the trophy room.
So, yeah, it's a really cool idea that I wish they would make in the future. But yeah, let's keep going. Oh, there it is.
The soul of Ares itself. The soul of war. The soul of hate. See how it rises in pain. See how it struggles to be free, and yet here it stays.
The Oracle's identity.
Beware, Kratos. The dangers in the temple are greater than you know.
I really didn't think, I mean, I know it sounds fake, I really didn't think this was gonna be, they were gonna be talking about theories I've shared. If he's going to say that the Oracle was, God damn it, what's her name now? Tisiphone from God of War Ascension, then I think I was the first one to make a video on, but I thought it was interesting.
The Ghost of Sparta, a name so given as a reminder of the horrible act he committed by murdering his own family. But what if it was all by design? This theory proposes that the Oracle was in fact Tisiphone, the fury of the mind under orders by Ares to complete Kratos' blood oath to him by spilling the blood of his own family. This would not only explain her suspicious nature, such as her evil laugh, but also why she wears the amulet of Ares bearing the Greek symbol of war, as well as why out of all places, Lysandra and Calliope were in that exact village. Further credence to this theory is presented just before Kratos kills Tisiphone. She transforms into the Oracle, proclaiming with her final breath,
They were not there by chance, Kratos.
At the end of God of War 3, all of Greece is plunged into darkness and the world has become flooded by the death of Poseidon. Greece has ostensibly been wiped off the face of the earth. However, in Tyr's treasure room in God of War 2018, Kratos discovers a vase with his enraged visage, but on the opposite side is a series of illustrations depicting Greece being rebuilt. Athena herself alludes to the fact that there remain survivors of the fall of Greece when Kratos unleashes hope into the world and she proclaims,
"They will not know what to do with it!"
Many fans believe Greece has long since been rebuilt as Kratos wandered for what seemed to be hundreds of years before arriving in Midgard, and it's unlikely that Zeus would have allowed Tyr, a god of war from another realm, to visit his shores and be welcomed with open arms, let alone gifts.
What'd you find?
Enough distraction.
Kratos.
I'm just saying, I came to this video looking for theories to steal, obviously, you know? But yeah, like I also talked about that a while ago. I don't think this one is as original as, I don't think it's just exclusive to me. All you had to do was just look at the base in Tyr's vault. And yeah, it definitely does show like Greece being rebuilt. Yeah, I that's something I can't wait to see again. The Greek games are what I was not born with, but I grew up with. Like I grew up with Greek God of War, and I would 100% love to see it return. Like hopefully the humans are in control and they've rebuilt it. They're more scientifically focused. I don't know if that would be too un-God of War, but I think it would be cool. Maybe potentially Calliope could be the Queen of Olympus, something like that. Maybe that's too much, you know, fan fiction-y for the writers at Santa Monica Studios, right? But I do hope ancient Greece is shown somehow.
Is immortality.
I feel nothing, but you
feel everything.
and you
Keep trying.
I'm not my brother.
Man, I love
and
Baldur.
If you'd given me what I wanted, it wouldn't have ended this way.
Even
But
despite
no.
being a god, we've clearly seen how Kratos ages, and on more than one occasion, he has perished and been sent to Hades. Really, it's a surprisingly common problem. So just how immortal is Kratos? Each time Kratos manages to return, it's usually with the help of an outside force such as the Gravedigger or Gaia. There are others who believe Kratos has been cursed with his immortality, either for the murder of his family or by one of the Greek gods, which is why he's unable to die by his own hand. This is highlighted by the line, "Only a god can kill a god," but it has also been suggested that Kratos refuses to let himself die due to his guilt for his actions, which is why he attempts to become better and is more accepting of his predicted fate as prophesied by the giants.
We're so close to the end now.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Look, I'm not even gonna touch the topic of Kratos' immortality with a 10-foot pole. It's complicated. Even Cory Barlog, I don't know if I'll be able to find the quote. He has said, I think it was in John Ford's interview he did a while ago. John asked him, like, what is the deal with Kratos' immortality? And he muted his mic or something, right? So it's definitely a mystery that Cory and Santa Monica are keeping very quiet. You know, they're not gonna tell us, right? My own theory is the one I think he mentioned at the beginning, where it's like, it's not biologically to him that he's immortal, right? It's more that fate always intervenes, and here's when you're going to say that it's Santa Monica intervening. You know, intervening, like the writers are intervening because they don't want him to die, because he's one of Sony's biggest cows. I don't know what do you say, but yeah, my theory is that the higher existence is somehow keeping him alive because they need him. In the Fallen God comics, you get to see the Athena and Thoth saying that, you know, your mission is not done on Earth, return or something. That at least that's a lot of fan fictions, a lot of fan theories, because we don't even know if that's the higher plane of existence. It most likely is, but we'll have to wait and see.
Multiverse.
When I came to these shores, I chose to live as a man. But the truth is, I was born a god. And so were you.
As we touched on earlier, not much was left of Greece by the time Kratos finished exacting his vengeance. And yet, when Kratos arrives in Midgard, and even as he passes through Egypt in his travels, the events of the original saga have not impacted these realms whatsoever, and they seem to have no knowledge of the fall of Greece. The leading theory is that while all the realms exist simultaneously, they also exist on separate Earths, one for each pantheon. Further credence is lent to this theory by Tyr himself. Within his hidden temple are treasures from numerous realms, and even his missing panel shows he visited not only Greece, but other realms as well. His travels likely took place long after the fall of Greece, since it seems to have taken Kratos almost 1,000 years to reach Midgard, and even then, he claims he was dragged there, most likely through some kind of portal.
Look, clearly that's Tyr. Traveling somehow. Perhaps magically.
Otherworldly.
Oh, I want to see this otherworldly Tyr. This is interesting. This is the theory of the multiverse, or I don't know what I called it back then. This is something I used to believe back then. Much like Kratos' immortality, the topic of the God of War universe is somewhat complex, and here I can already hear MonR typing his pocket theory, which is honestly the most likely one. MonR is like a longtime member who's he's very knowledgeable all things God of War. Theory is that it takes place in one universe or one world, but each geographical location is in a bubble. So within that bubble, you have a sun and a moon, and that's why the sun and the moon in the Greek bubble got harmed, but not the sun and the moon in the Norse one, right? So it's confusing. Even though I think this is the most likely one, I feel like Santa Monica has done a kind of a poor job portraying it, because it's not really that important to narrative and just character arcs. Because when Kratos goes to Egypt, there's not really a barrier break where he breaks through a bubble and he enters the Egyptian thing. He just takes a boat from Greece and travels there. Like, there's nothing really magical like the Watch Mojo guy says. Like, there's not a portal. I wish there was. It would really explain a lot of things, and I think it would make the world a lot more understandable if there's in separate dimensions and stuff. But as it stands right now, like, the most likely theory is that they all take place in the same planet, but it's bubbles that are invisible, which is, they're not really bubbles if you can just enter. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's check out this otherworldly Tyr theory. I want to see what this is.
Traveling somehow. Perhaps magically.
Otherworldly Tyr.
We are leaving. Are you coming with us?
Along with the multiverse theory comes another theory that Tyr is not actually from Midgard. Some fans believe the true reason he is so despised by the other Aesir is because he isn't one of them. His ability to travel outside of the 9 realms could have put him at odds with Odin and the many other gods, but some believe that this version of Tyr might have taken what was originally Loki's place within the lore and was found by Odin and adopted as an infant. This would also help explain why Tyr is able to travel to realms outside of Midgard while the other Aesir seemingly cannot. Tyr's resistance to sharing these abilities with Odin also could have been another driving force that led to Odin's resentment of the God of War, wishing to expand his power outside of Midgard and gain even more knowledge and further his control.
And you are?
His name is Kratos.
Kratos. I know that name.
I honestly, the other one, I'm guessing. I honestly like this theory because I don't think, and if I'm wrong, people are gonna crucify me in the comments section. I don't think it's ever said in the God of War series that Odin is Tyr's father. I don't think it's ever explained that. And even in the mythology itself, there's very different accounts of who Tyr's father is. So there's some ambiguity there that they could definitely explore. I had a theory a while back that Tyr came from the higher plane of existence. I feel like that's too convoluted, but I do like this idea that Tyr wasn't really born in the Norse in Scandinavia. He came from somewhere else. But it's just a theory. I don't know. It's cool, but I want it to be true, but we'll have to wait and see for the next game.
The other Athena.
Oh, the other Athena.
Death cannot hold those with purpose, Kratos.
Athena.
I have missed you, Spartan.
After Athena's untimely death by Kratos' hand as she attempted to save Zeus, it seemed as though Kratos had lost his only ally. Yet with her reappearance in God of War 3, something seemed to have changed. Athena seemed much more vengeful and power-hungry than before, berating Kratos for not giving her the power she felt she was owed before leaving him to bleed out. However, in the follow-up comic series Fallen God, she seems to once again be herself, offering Kratos guidance and aid, and without her translucent green visage of the third game. Many believe the Athena in 3 wasn't the real Athena, but another deity from the briefly mentioned higher plane, attempting to manipulate Kratos and absorb the power from the many fallen gods he'd killed. This would also explain why she appears to continue to haunt him in Midgard, still attempting to control the former god of war.
You will always be.
I don't even know if I should upload this. It feels like this was, to some people it's gonna seem like this video was like an ego trip, like just me like, oh, that's my theory, watch more just talking about this. I honestly was not expecting MojoPlays to just take all of my theories. There's a lot of like God of War YouTubers out there that they could have, my theories are not the only ones, but yeah, I did do like a to Athena's theory back when Fallen God came out. I honestly don't know if I should upload this anymore. I can see a lot of backfire on this. Let's just keep going.
A monster.
I know.
I know.
But I am your monster no longer.
But I am your monster no longer.
Hashtag best moment in the series.
Mask and the Rift.
Feels like knowledge. Truth.
All truth. All the answers.
It's time
While
for
the
the
Mask and
Demiurge.
the Rift might just be a MacGuffin to drive the story of Ragnarok forward, many believe it could be the key tying the entire series together. Given the numerous languages scribbled on it, it's possible the mask has been around for eons, passing from one realm to the next as each tries to unlock its mysteries. Also, not only does the Rift have the same green energy as Athena at the end of 3, it also appears to be the same power used by Garm to rip open the fabric of the realms. There is also the likelihood that the mask is another object of power like the Blade of Olympus that Athena was so desperate for, and given that failure, has taken to the shadows, encouraging Odin to complete the mask. MacGuffin or not, there is clearly some kind of incredible power behind both.
I think the interesting thing about the mask is that Eric Williams said that it's very important what it says on it. I honestly can't translate it because there's freaking Egyptian hieroglyphs in there. Eric Williams, I think it was in the IGN interview, said that what it was said in the mask, it was kind of a hint as to where we were going next. I'll honestly after I post this video, I'm gonna post like pictures of the mask on Twitter. So if there's any actual talented God of War fans who can read Egyptian hieroglyphs and a bunch of other languages that I don't even know where they're from, right? If you guys can translate it, that would be awesome. But yeah, the mask and the Rift are interesting. I didn't really like them in the story of Ragnarok because, like he said, it's just a MacGuffin to move the plot forward. But I want to see if they bring it back in the sequels. I want to see if they start talking about the higher plane of existence more.
No! 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 Why did you do that?
The higher plane.
Oh boy.
I don't.
My sacrifice to save Zeus has brought me to a higher existence.
This one gets pretty deep, so we'll try to be as concise as we can. A realm mentioned only once in the entire series, it's also the mystery that has plagued fans the longest. Many theorize the higher plane refers to Gnosticism and the Demiurge, a god of gods who created all of the realms and comes from the realm known as Plimora. The Demiurge lusts for power to overthrow the monad, or highest being, who created everything in the known universe. This theory goes even further by asserting that the Demiurge was disguised as Athena at the end of God of War 3, which is backed up by Athena's claims.
Appearances can be deceiving, Kratos.
Fans believe the Demiurge is manipulating Kratos into killing the gods of the other realms to absorb their power. This could eventually culminate in Kratos traveling to Plimora and killing the Demiurge after he discovers its plans.
You disappoint me, Spartan.
That was the last one. I was honestly looking for new theories. I just wanted to see what the community had to offer. I'm not really even like mad that they took my theories. I don't care. I don't really care. It's cool that they're sharing it. I wanted to see new ones. You know, I was like, oh, let me see what. And there's honestly like a couple of ones that fans have shared with me in the comment section that I really want to share with you because they're just really interesting. But yeah, the whole thing with the Demiurge, I believe I talked about it, I don't know, like 2 years ago? It was a while back. And then I recently talked about it when God of War Ragnarok came out because of all the rift. And I think I was the one who, I don't think anyone else mentioned the similarities between Athena's color and the rift, and how, you know, it could be the demiurge like pretending to be them. Like, anyway, the point is, I wanted to see new theories. I wanted to see what the community had to offer. And I'm sure there's a lot of theories out there, but it sounds like a lot of them are mine. Anyway, I honestly don't know if I'm gonna upload this video, because it does honestly seem like I watched the video, I saw that Watch Mojo took a lot of my theories, and now I'm going on this little ego trip. But I want to see what the comments say. Actually, I want to see what people are saying in the comments. Yeah, it's actually cool. Like, that people are actually sharing their theories and all that. That's really interesting. I don't know. I feel like Watch Mojo should have also gone to like Reddit. I've heard that there's a lot of theories there, and other YouTubers as well. Like, there's a lot of people who just do really good theories as well. But yeah, if I end up posting this, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked Watch Mojo's video and my reaction to it. I hope at least you find this an entertaining video. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Until then, remember, go forth in the name of All Father Kratos.